Afternoon all, welcome back to the channel. This is Chris, Rose Ironworks. I hope you're all well, and we're going to carry on with part 2 of the video about the 350 amp MIG, which is just sitting here on the bench with me. So before I do that, I just want to do a couple of things. So I've had a viewer request, for those of you that know my channel. I think it was one of my first videos I produced, about the Kempe machine, the little portable Evo 200. And I've had some questions about that machine, which I'm going to follow up with in another video. That'll be coming up soon. It's particularly to do with manual modes, setting the machine up as well, and potentially, if I can get hold of one, retrofitting the machine to a Euro torch. Okay, so one like these. Those machines, as standard, come with a factory-fitted non-removable torch cable. So that's that one. The other one I'm going to sort out now is if anyone would like a bit of a merch slap, bit of stickers, send me a DM, send me your details, and I'll post these out to you. I've got to get some more reprinted as well. So if there's anyone that watches this channel in the UK that does sticker printing, drop me a message and we can talk from there. So that'd be good, because I get through quite a few of these. As you've probably seen, they're all on most of my machinery and tools, etc. It's always a good way to identify what's yours. So more importantly, after that as well, it's don't forget to ring the little bell, and if you wouldn't mind doing a like and subscribe, that would be really helpful with the YouTube algorithms. People say you shouldn't beg for things, and I'm not. I'm just asking. I'm really hoping to build this channel some more. I really like feedback as well from people. Constructive, nice feedback is good. Anyone who leaves any horrible negative comments, you will be deleted instantly. So on with the video. The MIG, right. Just going to adjust the camera a little bit, shake you around there. So we've got the MIG torch, and I'm just going to stand up out of the way. So gas shroud, if we're going to be setting these up to feed in new wire, the machine's empty at the moment, it's kind of best to take off the tip. Okay, now as it happens, this one has still got wire in it, so you can hear that. That's pulling out some old, that's some 1.2mm solid core. Now, most welders should know, or they do know, that this wire is actually quite dangerous stuff, because it's very hard. It's very pointy, and as you can see, it's very springy. So when you're doing it, be careful, okay? There's been plenty of welders and plenty of people that aren't experienced with these machines that have had some pretty nasty pokey injuries with them. So, as you can see there, the nozzle is still, the tip is still stuck on the end of the wire. That's because of the burn back from the last time I used it. So I'll just snip that off, make sure it doesn't go in the T. And yeah. The favourite one with people when they feed wire is they forget the wire's coming and they've got their hand over the end of the gun, and the next thing they know, just going to lob that in the scrap bin, the next thing they know, it's come out of here and gone straight through the finger or the hand, because it will push hard. So first things first, let's get the machine turned on. Probably saw that bit of flicker of the lights then. The power supply in these machines is very big. It's worth noting something with these as well. A lot of domestic machines, smaller MIG welders, are designed to run on a UK 13 amp plug or a 16 amp supply. We use obviously different connectors to the US. I'm just going to show you a couple here. Just grab one of those. So for those of you who are not familiar with the UK electrical system, I myself being an electrician, so very valuable. This is the standard, what a standard 13 amp socket looks like. 3-pin square pins. It's fused as well. All of our plugs are fused, unlike a lot of countries that don't fuse their plugs. God knows why, I do not know. You'll all recognise what that is, yeah, phone charger, so that's our plugs. So 13 amp, basically designed for a maximum 3 kilowatt supply. After that we use these 16 amp connectors. This is called a C-type or a C-norm connector. Unfused, rated at 16 amps or 4 kilowatts. And this one is a splash proof, so it's suitable for outside use. And you can get ones with a locking ring on here, which are IP67 or IP65, so waterproof, so long as it's connected to a suitable socket and they're mated together and all the cable seals at the back are done properly. Next stage up from that obviously is the 32 amp, which is slightly bigger. So basically we go on, this is a 3.5 or 4 kilowatt supply. That's a 6 kilowatt or 7.2 kilowatt maximum supply at 230 volts single phase. Now I know that in the US you have this 110 and 220 volt system. 220 volt, which are 2 phases. God knows why, I don't know. In the UK we don't do that. We have either single phase, which is on these connectors is blue. If it's 110 volt we use yellow. I could probably find one of them actually. A little bit of backstory for you as I'm just talking about what welders run on. That's a 110 volt connector. So, and the main difference is the keyway and the earth position is different. You can see that the earth pin is opposite the keyway on that one, and the earth pin is at a different clock position to that one. So that's what we use. And then finally, for a lot of industrial welders and bigger equipment, including this machine, which is available in 3-phase, is we use red connectors. I happen to have one on the wall. I should just turn you around gently. One over there on the wall there. That's a 5 pin 32 amp connector, 3-phase. So yeah, so that's about supply. I'm running off single phase in this workshop at the moment. I don't have much gear that runs off 3-phase at the moment, but I've just got a full 3-phase supply. So 32 amp 3-phase supply on the wall over there, and away we go. Right, so a lot of people will do, I've got preferences on how they load wire into welders. Some people will leave the gun attached, others will take it off. For the purpose of this video, I've taken the gun off just so you can see what's what. We are going to have a rather nice opening session of a brand new reel of Diamond Spark, Bowler Diamond Spark 46 MC, which is a dual shield flux core wire. So this stuff is the dog's bollocks, and that is in any country. If you don't know what the dog's bollocks is, look it up in your own language. You might notice that the reels, if you've not seen this before, now I know a lot of hobby welders will use smaller reels. I'm going to show you the difference. I've got an empty one over here. Again, for the US, so that would be what I think you call a 10-pound reel in the US, 5 kilos, and that is a 15 kilo or 30-pound reel. So a bit of a size difference, a bit of a weight difference, and cost difference as well. Standard reel, 5 kilos of MIG wire in something like 045 or what's that? It's about, what's that? 0.8, 1 mil. You're talking anywhere from 20 quid, £20 upwards, or $40, I think. That is, because it's a specialist wire, that is nearly £100, or well, I suppose that's what's $200, something like that. I don't know what the exchange rate is at the moment, but I go roughly double as it was when I used to work out there. So loading the wire onto the machine. Let's get the bag open first. I'll move the camera in a second just so you can see what's what. I'll just lose that on the deck. And one thing I always sometimes forget to do with these reels is put them on their side, because the last time I did this I forgot, got sidetracked, and the next thing the reel rolled off the bench, and it was a plastic reel and it broke. which is really, really annoying. So I'm just going to turn that way, and I'm going to put you, let me just move the gun out of the way. I'm going to put you around here like this, so hopefully you can see everything that I can see. There we go. Right, so we're going to take off our loading nut. This is the captive nut in there. The wire feed unit is open. I'm just going to check my rollers. Okay, I'm just going to check my rollers. So I'm going to undo one of the. There's 2 thumb screws in here. Let me just move you around like that. So there's 2 thumb screws that's come off. This is common on a lot of machines. The more expensive ones as well, such as this. These have a very, very high quality roll drive system. So this is you've got a full steel geared rollers. Okay, so the gearing comes through from the motor down through worm drive bevel gears, and then through to here, and you can take these off, turn them around. So 1.2 mil, 1 mil roller. The size I'm using is on the inside. It's always a good idea to just have a look at the rollers as well, and if you run your nail around it often, when you take it out, you see all that? My hands are filthy anyway, but that is all crap off the wire. So it's worth just rubbing them out. So we're going to put that back on. Make sure it's properly in place and engaged with the bottom one. Try and get it to go in. I can see it's not engaging properly. Why aren't you going in? Behave. Talk amongst yourself, folks. This is big. Hang on. Gremlins are fighting us back. So this is real world. It's not set up in a studio and everything works properly. I think one of the cogs is not quite meshing. It's not quite going in. Going back into where it should be for some reason. I think what's happened here is I'm just going to use, if you watch down here, I'm just going to press the inching button and just whiz the cogs a bit. And you know, I'm not putting my finger in there because it will take my finger off. There we go, did you hear that? It just locked in then. You can prove that it's going round. So that's nicely locked into position. Just the teeth weren't meshing properly, they just moved slightly. So cinch these wheels, hand knobs down, they don't have to be over tight, just snug, okay? Just shut the door. The neighbours have just come back and they'll be disturbing me if I don't have the door shut. Okay, so this wire is a gas assisted wire, gas shielded wire. When you get the reels, you'll see, I'll just move you down here, you can see, when they come out of the factory, they literally terminate them like this, okay? Now, if you undo this wire here without holding onto the wire itself, the whole lot will go ping and do a bird's nest, okay? Now, bearing in mind that this is a £100 reel of wire, we don't want that to happen. So, what I'm going to have to do is move the machine a bit closer because I'm going to do my backing otherwise. I'm going to really get one shot at this. It's awkward to hold sometimes, these reels are. So you want to make sure that you make sure that the wire on your machine is coming off. Like this one wants to come off the bottom down here and go in that way. Some roll drives are up the top and go the other way, so you'd have the wire the other way. But with this machine, it's particularly like this. So we're going to lift it, balance it on the edge. Once once that's on its spigot, tip you up a bit. There we go. Do the hand wheel up. The hand wheel doesn't have to be over tight, okay? Just tight enough. Now I'm going to locate where the wire is. And for this, we need to get hold of the end of the wire, unhook it from the cage, keep hold of it, take the end off. There are side cutters. And what I tend to do is put my hand down underneath and make sure I've got two hands on it. Now once the wire gets through a little hole, and several holes in the roll drive, if you look here, you should see, I'll just inch it forwards. There we go, that's where she feeds into the Euro connector. So I'm just going to lock the roll drive down, and that's in. So now you can see roll drive's locked. This is a tension adjuster on the rollers, pressure on the rollers, and generally mine stays roughly around the same position because I tend to use this wire a lot. Other wires, softer wires like aluminium, need different pressure. So I'll shut the door up, I'm done within there. Just going to move her back. Sorry folks, it was a rather close up of it. Let's put you back around here. So, now the mains is on, obviously, because we've got power for the roll drive. And for this one, all my voltage in the right position. So to feed, what I've got to do now is obviously line up the wire going into this part. This is where the wire feeds. Okay, the one with the O-ring there is for the gas, and then the two contacts there, which are on springs, is the switch for the trigger on the gun. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect that onto here. And I will say that the manufacturers of this machine, Phil Weeks, have made a very good job of doing this. Okay, now although this is just a standard stock Euro connector, the position of it on the machine is excellent. Okay, you've just seen how easy it is to put the wire onto the machine. The bigger machines are always easier, they're less fiddly. And now we can demonstrate the wire inching thing on here. It does take a little bit of time. I always tend to have the door open when I wire inch, because if there's any problems you want to see that the reel's what's happening before you're going to screw up a £100 reel of wire. You don't need to press the trigger. Just okay. In fact, if I just lay that down there, I'm just going to bring you back around here, then you can actually see what's going on. This is nearly knocking the camera over. There we go. So, put that in shot for you, and you'll see. You can feel it working its way through the liner of the torch. You feel it coming. Okay, there we go. Easy. So that's the point where a lot of people go wrong. That has got a lot of power behind it. If you've got your finger over the end of there or your hand, it will just go straight through. I've had a couple of narrow escapes, and I'm not doing it ever again because it blooming hurt. This point next, screw on the MIG tip. See, this is 1.2mm, so I've got a 1.2mm tip. Gas shroud over the top, nice and clean. Clip back about 10mm. That bit just shot off where I didn't want it to, typical. Where did it go? Nah, it can stay in there. Not important. And then we'll shut the door. Now, I said on the last video I was going to do some welding with this today, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to because I've literally just loaded. I've just loaded the van, and my cylinder, gas cylinder's out there at the moment, so I'm not bringing it back in for the sake of this. Once business gets better, I'm going to get more than one cylinder of gas, and then I'll have one smaller one for mobile works with Kempe, and the bigger cylinder will stay here for the big machine. This machine doesn't have trigger latch on it. I believe now that you can buy them with trigger latch, so that's 2T, 4T. The 2T is the standard on off. Yeah. The 4T is latch on, latch off, and that's for doing long continuous runs. There. So yeah, so that's kind of the final bit of the video about this MIG. I'm going to be using it on some projects coming up soon, so you'll get to see it in action. Are we alone? I don't know what that was. Something falling off. Oh, that's falling off the wall. Let's chuck that in there. Thought for a minute the mice were back. Yeah, so that's good. Thank you for watching. Sorry this has been a bit of a shorter video than I expected it to be. As I say, please like and subscribe, keep an eye on the channel, drop me some messages if you'd like to, if you've got any ideas for content, what you want to see. Just like to give a couple of big shout outs for the Arc Junkies podcast, Jason Becker and Alistair Arc123. He's both on Instagram. Absolutely fantastic. Really good content, really good guys. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later.